Good morning, everyone. Let me see if I can share this real quick. Morning, everyone. Been a long time since I've been on a live stream. We'll wait for a few more people to get in here. I want to talk about a few things that I heard about on the radio this morning. Good morning, backup camera girl. So glad you're in here, baby. Well, I opted out of breakfast this morning, guys, so I could talk to everyone about some stuff I heard on the radio this morning. And I'm going to get to it here in just a few minutes. Let's get a few more people in here. Looks like we got about 31 people in here. So I'm headed to work on an early Monday morning. And I'm hearing Trey Ware on KTSA AM 550 talking about how Austin, back when BLM and the whole defund the police campaign was going on, the city of Austin, Texas defunded their police department. And it wasn't by a little, it was by a lot. And they've lost quite a few officers. They've had, I think in the last 90 days, they've had over 28 resign. I'm not sure what the exact numbers are, but they've had quite a few quit, either resign or put in their retirement papers and retire. And since a year ago, I guess since they defunded the police in Austin, Texas, Austin has had a 71% increase in homicides. And I don't know if you guys know that Elon Musk moved his headquarters or whatever to the city of Austin, Texas. And I guess, when the richest man in the world tells the city leaders that they need to increase protection for its citizens, when a guy like that speaks with that much money and that much power, the city leaders sit up and pay attention to a guy like that. We're talking about Elon Musk here, moving to the city of the city of Austin. So when a guy like that speaks up and says, "Hey, you guys need to fund your police department so we can have more protection," we got a 71% increase in homicides. So that's kind of what I want to talk about this morning. So the city of Austin is scrambling now, trying to increase their budget for their police department. And they want to try to hire more officers. Well, good luck with that, because people don't want to be cops anymore. Cops that have been on the force for 20 plus years, or they're trying to get out of being cops. They can't wait until it's over. They can't wait to retire because of what's going on now. But that's not really what I want to talk about. What I really want to talk about is, do cops prevent crime? And we all know, if you guys have been following me for any amount of time, or any of the other auditors, or any of the police accountability activists, you guys know that cops do not prevent crime. Now, there's a lot of bootlickers out there, and then there's a lot of sheep out there that don't know this, either by putting blinders on or just not wanting to believe that the police are not here to protect us. They don't want to believe that. They don't want to believe that the cops aren't here to protect us. And I'm going to give you guys some examples this morning. So those 71% rise in homicides in Austin, unless you have unless each citizen has an individual officer assigned to them, there's no way to prevent those 71% rise in homicides. Having more cops on the street is not going to prevent homicides. It's not going to prevent crime. We all know that police show up after crimes have been committed. The police show up just to do the paperwork. That's all they do. They're not there to prevent crime. We already know the Supreme Court has already ruled that police have no obligation to protect citizens. So that protect and serve bullshit that's on the side of every police car in America, that's exactly what it is. Bullshit. Police are not here to protect and serve us, guys. If you guys look at the thumbnail on this video, you know, if a police officer has to hide to catch you speeding, and then they speed to catch up to you because you were speeding, who's the real criminals here? Police only show up after the crimes have been committed, guys. They don't prevent crime. Police do not prevent crime. So I'm gonna give you a couple more examples here. Let's say you're at home and you're gonna get up. You got somebody banging on your door, right? And it's somebody trying to do a home invasion on your home. Now, somebody, if that person that's trying to break into your home succeeds and enters your home, somebody is going to leave there or not leave there. Somebody is going to end up in that situation hurt, severely injured, or killed. Now, whether it's the homeowner, because the would-be burglar broke in and shot and killed the homeowner, or stabbed them, or beat them, or severely injured them, or if it's the burglar who the homeowner took the responsibility of arming themselves and training themselves to protect themselves from situations like this, then it's the burglar that's either gonna be laying on the floor, dead, injured, or severely beaten, because the homeowner took it upon themselves to protect themselves, either by the Second Amendment, by arming themselves to protect themselves and their family, or by some other means. My point to this is, where were the cops? Were they there to protect that homeowner from the would-be burglar? Did they prevent that crime? No. What'd they do? They showed up after the crime. They showed up after the crime to do the paperwork. That's all cops are good for, guys. Cops don't prevent crime. They show up after the crime. Well, here's another example. Take a look at the thumbnail on this video. You got a cop, you're driving down the road, you get pulled over, you look in your rearview mirror and you see those cherry and berry lights in your rearview mirror. What happens? What's the first thing that happens? Maybe not to a guy like me, but to the average citizen, their adrenaline starts flowing, right? Because they're scared. Scared of the cops. Why? Why are people scared of the cops? Because cops have a tool belt full of tools designed to hurt and kill humans. And they have the authority and the power to throw you in jail, in a cage, for who knows how long. And most of the time it's for a victimless crime. Guys, look, if you're speeding, the cop has to go at least twice as fast to catch up to you, right? You get pulled over. What just happened? The cop showed up, right? But after the crime was committed. Let's talk about traffic laws, right? They're just codes. Next time you get pulled over by a cop, ask him, what law did I break? they're not going to tell you that you broke a law. They're going to tell you that you broke an infraction. Traffic laws are codes. They're infractions. They're not laws. You broke an infraction by speeding. And me, the officer, I showed up after the crime or after the infraction was committed to do the paperwork. What paperwork? To issue you a citation, to extort you out of your hard-earned money for a victimless crime. Guys, we all know that Pennsylvania versus Mims, a Supreme Court decision, stated that officers during a traffic stop, they can order you out of the vehicle for their safety. The officer's safety, I don't know exact words of Pennsylvania versus Mims. I haven't read the whole case, but I do know that the ruling was, officers can order you out of their vehicle during a traffic stop for their safety. Now, their safety, guys, a police officer's safety is no more important than yours or mine. And you guys see me say this over and over again. Blue lives don't exist. Being a cop is an occupation. And a cop's employment choice is no more important than yours or mine. Their safety is no more important than yours or mine. And let me get back to this Pennsylvania versus Mims. Okay, an officer can order you out of your vehicle during a traffic stop for their safety. Guys, whose safety is at risk during a traffic stop? They're the ones with the tool belt full of tools designed to hurt and kill humans. Whose safety is more at risk during a traffic stop? The police officer or the citizen being pulled over for the traffic infraction? Dude, guys, a cop's number one killer of cops is not a criminal. You guys know what the number one reason for cops being killed? It's suicide. The number one killer of police officers is suicide. The number two killer of police officers is traffic accidents. Being a cop is not even in the top 20 most dangerous jobs in the world, guys. But being a citizen pulled over by a police officer probably ranks up there in the top 5 dangerous situations in the world. These are the kind of things that people are led to believe, that police officers are here to protect you. Guys, that protect and serve bullshit on the side of police cars is exactly that. It's bullshit. And when I see these cars, these police officers, these cities that have "In God We Trust" on their police cars, what happened to separating the state from the church? Should they be flying that blue flag, that blue line flag on their cars? That desecration, that gang symbol? Guys, look up the definition of gang. 2 or more people conspiring to commit crimes and extort people for money. All wearing the same gang symbols and same type of uniforms. That's the definition of a gang, guys. The biggest gang in the United States is the police, the United States Police, guys. Now, you guys may see videos on my channel of me cussing out cops. You guys may think, God, he hates the cops. I don't hate the cops, guys. There is a need for cops. But what need is that? Okay? We don't need our cops militarized with body armor and AR-15s tool belts full of tools designed to hurt and kill people. Back in the 60s, 50s, and 60s, cops carried a revolver in a holster with 6 shots in their gun. They didn't have semi-automatic weapons. They didn't wear body armor. They didn't wear Kevlar helmets, riot gear, all that shit you see our cops now that are getting all their equipment from the military. It's ridiculous, guys. Cops are afraid of their own shadows. And back to what I was saying, guys, I don't hate cops. I got plenty of videos on my channel of me being very cordial with police officers, having great conversations with police officers. I can name a few departments on one hand that I've experienced that are great police departments. And I have the #1 police department in the San Antonio area, in and around San Antonio, that I consider an excellent police department. In my book, it's like the #1 police department out there. And I know these police officers watch my channel. And guys, there's a lot of police departments out there that watch all of our channels. So they know who we are, what we represent. And, you know, guys like Chief Valenciano and Chief Savaggio painting us as anarchists. Well, we're the worst anarchists there ever were if we're anarchists, guys. Because we follow the law to the T. We do not intentionally break the law. But back to that #1 police department that I consider the #1 police department in the San Antonio, Bexar County area. That's going to be Live Oak, Texas. Live Oak, Texas, guys, it's an exceptional police department. Their officers are trained on public photography. They're trained on how to deal with their citizens. They have a big budget in their police department. And they use a lot of that budget for training their officers on how to deal with citizens. And I don't mean how to use combat tactics against citizens. They have de-escalation techniques that are used by the Live Oak Police Department. And I gotta say this, I was arrested by the Live Oak Police Department on a warrant out of Olmos Park. Those officers that arrested me that day, I received an apology from them about 2 weeks after that arrest. It wasn't a written apology, it wasn't an official apology, but the officers that arrested me, I ran into them on the street, and I was told by these officers that if they would have known why Olmos Park issued that arrest, they would have made them come arrest me themselves. Because we all know what happened to Olmos Park, what happened to Buck G, what happened to Jack Miller, what happened to Southside Slacker, what happened to CJ Grisham and Jim Everard, you know, what happened to me. We all know what Olmos Park's about. But the Live Oak Police Department, guys, is like, in my book, is like the #1 police department in Bexar County. These guys are exceptional officers. I've never ran into a tyrant. And that's not to say that they don't have tyrants, because we all know that there's a tyrant in every police department. But their police chief, the way he treats their officers and the way he trains their officers, and every encounter that I've ever had, and every encounter that I've ever heard of happening in Live Oak has been nothing but exceptional and professional. So kudos to the Live Oak Police Department. There's a couple other police departments in the area that I consider in the same rankings as Live Oak. Universal City. Yeah, I've had my run-ins with Sergeant Rios over there, but their police chief and the rest of their officers out there, I've been out there filming them. Pink Camera Magic's been out there filming them many times, and they've always done great. So Universal City, the city of Selma, they've come a long way from when I first started filming those guys. So those are just a couple police departments. I want to touch on Shirts, SCHERTZ, Shirts. It's not in Bexar County, but it's our neighbor. It's a Bexar County neighbor. Shirts Police Department you know, I had to take them down a notch because of what happened to Zeke Reyes last year and the way they handled that situation with Zeke Reyes. Those officers were not disciplined in my opinion the proper way. The chief didn't do what he needed to do. Those officers are still out on the street over there. They committed felonies, official oppression, what they did to the family of Zeke Reyes that night. And if you guys aren't familiar with that, there's going to be videos on Jack Miller's channel about it. You guys can see on TX Sheepdog 72's channel about Zeke Reyes and the city of Schertz and what happened last year. I did go to one of the council meetings, and they had to shut the council meeting down because BLM was there, and it was just, what they did to Zeke Reyes was uncalled for, and the officers weren't disciplined properly for that situation. Alamo Heights, y'all all saw what happened to Jessica when she was sleeping in her car. They broke her window. Those officers, in my opinion, were not disciplined properly. So, you know, when officers do shit like this, guys, charges need to be brought up on them. You know, excessive force, official oppression, those type of charges, lawsuits, of course. You know, if you guys aren't aware of all the depositions that are going on in Olmos Park right now, they're, you know, Olmos Park, we're not done with Olmos Park, guys. We're not done with trying to oust Chief Valenciano over there. Our goal is to get that guy fired and never be able to work in law enforcement again. He's a moron. Chief Valenciano is a moron. You know, the auditors worked real hard at getting Chief Savaggio fired from Leon Valley, and we need to set our sights on Chief Valenciano now. He's a tyrant. He's a criminal. Chief Valenciano is a criminal and needs to be in handcuffs. I can't wait to see the day that motherfucker's in handcuffs, guys. But if nothing else, he needs to be fired and never be able to work in law enforcement again. He's a complete moron. If you guys don't know, there's been a third lawsuit filed by CJ Grisham and Jim Everard. There's another lawsuit that's going to be filed probably within the next 30 days in Olmos Park. If you guys know Backup Camera Girl, she was the first one to file a lawsuit. And if you guys don't know who Backup Camera Girl is, the acronym for her is BUCG, B-U-C-G. That's an acronym for Backup Camera Girl. She was assaulted by Officer Salinas in Olmos Park. She filed a lawsuit 4 years ago. And shortly after that, CJ Grisham and Jim Everard filed a lawsuit. If you guys also don't know, I still have a pending criminal charge in Olmos Park. I have broken the record for the longest misdemeanor charge in Bexar County, guys. I'm going on February, it'll be 4 years I've been out on bond for a Class A misdemeanor in Olmos Park, Texas, for allegedly walking into the Shell station with an alleged handgun. That case is still ongoing, guys. And if you guys don't know, after that incident, Olmos Park filed to have my Texas license to carry suspended or revoked. And I appealed that decision, and I filed a lawsuit against Texas Department of Public Safety. That lawsuit went all the way up to the Texas Supreme Court, guys. And I want to give a big thanks to Open Carry Texas. They funded that entire lawsuit, guys. They raised the funds and funded that entire lawsuit. As you guys don't know, Millie Thompson was my attorney, and she was elected judge in Hays County and had to step down and recuse herself from my case because she took the judge's position, the judge's seat in Hays County. So I was out of, I didn't have an attorney for almost a year while my case was still pending, my criminal case in Olmos Park. and my lawsuit that's sitting at the Texas Supreme Court. Millie Thompson was my attorney for both cases. So I have now, since then, retained a law firm for my criminal case. And I'm back on track. I'm due to be in court for my trial to start on December 6th, I think. December 6th. It might be the 16th, guys. I can't remember. But I'm due for a trial to start after almost 4 years for a misdemeanor case. Now, I'm not expecting that case to go to trial. The judge has already ruled that Chief Valenciano has to testify in my case. And I don't think Olmos Park wants their moron chief on the witness stand. He's going to have to explain why he did a PowerPoint targeting auditors, conspiring to make up charges on auditors, conspiring to falsify charges against auditors, mainly myself, Jack Miller, CJ Grisham, Jim Everard, and Backup Camera Girl. Those are all the people that are involved with lawsuits in Olmos Park. Still ongoing to this day, guys. 4 years later. You know, a lot of people say auditors are out there just to stir up shit, just to make videos, just to make money on YouTube. They're not out there to make real change. We all saw what Philip Turner did with Turner versus Driver. You know, I make videos. Yeah, I cuss out the cops sometimes, but I also have great interactions with cops. But to say that I'm not out here to make change, guys, how many officers have I gotten fired since I've started my YouTube channel? I can name 2 right off the bat. You guys remember the Kitty Hawk Middle School incident, right? You guys remember that? Officer Fleming, who did the unlawful search of the young activists, he got fired. You guys remember Officer Santana in Windcrest, who unlawfully detained me, and then a year later took Buck G's basket for her while he was doing off-duty at Walmart, violating her 4th Amendment? He was fired within 3 days after that incident. So to say we're not out here making change, I'm taking a case all the way to the Texas Supreme Court to try to get the Texas law changed to where they can't suspend your handgun license based solely on an arrest of a Class B or above. You guys know that if you don't vaccinate your pet twice in 1 year in Texas, that it's a Class B and you can lose your Texas license to carry? It doesn't even have to be related to a handgun charge. So those are the kind of laws that we're pushing to get changed here in Texas, guys. Yeah, Texas has constitutional carry now. You don't need a permit to carry. So why offer a handgun license? Why offer a license to carry in Texas? Well, let me kind of explain that. It offers you reciprocity in other states. If you carry a Texas license to carry, if you carry that permit, it allows you to carry in other states without obtaining a permit from that state that has reciprocity with Texas. So by them suspending my handgun license, yeah, it doesn't hurt me in Texas because I can still lawfully carry due to the recent change in the laws in Texas. But even before that, I was still lawfully allowed to carry my handgun. Why? Because I had an Arizona license to carry. Arizona has reciprocity with Texas. So Texas suspends my license to carry, but I can still carry in Texas. What kind of sense does that make, guys? They can't argue that it's about safety for suspending my license to carry. The only thing that it affected was me to be able to have reciprocity in another state. That's the only thing that suspending my Texas license to carry did, was affect my reciprocity in another state that has reciprocity with Texas. Now, I haven't done the full research, but most likely my Arizona license carries the same reciprocity with the same states that Texas does. So it didn't really hurt me by suspending my handgun license in Texas. So it got law enforcement and almost parked nowhere by suspending my handgun license. I can still walk through Almost Park with a handgun, even before the constitutional carry came into effect, or permitless carry in Texas. So those are the things I kind of want to talk about, guys. Is this whole defund the police thing? All of our police departments in the United States are way over budgeted. They have way too much in their budget. They have way too many police officers. Police do not prevent crime, guys. They show up after the crime has been committed. Period. The only way a police officer is going to prevent crime is if you have one assigned to you, like the Secret Service. You know, you got if you're like the president and he's got the Secret Service that follows him everywhere. How many crimes you think are going to be committed against the president? 0. That's the only way police are going to prevent crime, is if there's one assigned to every citizen. And we all know their budget's already way over what they need to have that many police officers in the United States. Guys, we'd really be in a police state if we aren't already now. We are. It's just we pay these police officers to extort money from us. That's basically what it is, guys. You pay these police officers from your tax dollars, and then they go out and extort more money from you for victimless crimes like speeding. Oh, you've already committed an infraction. Oh, now here comes the cops to show up after the infraction's been committed, or after the homicide's already been committed. They show up afterwards. They didn't prevent that crime. They didn't prevent you from speeding. You want to deter speeding? Park a police car out there with nobody in it. Just have them sit there. I mean, that'll slow traffic down. You know what else slows traffic down? Auditors. Auditors with signs in their hands that say police ahead or speed trap ahead. If it's about safety, that's what auditors do. Hey, if it's about safety, we're going to help you slow traffic down. Police officer ahead, speed trap ahead. I've stood out there many times with my speed trap ahead sign. Hey, if it's about safety, I'm all about safety. I'm trying to slow people down. Speed kills, we know that. Anyway, guys, I just had to go on my little rant this morning. You know, I heard this on the radio about Austin trying to refund their police department because of a rise of 71% in homicides. Do you guys really think the police, having more police officers, would have prevented that 71% of homicides, 71% rise in homicides in the city of Austin? More cops do not prevent crime. It creates more official oppression. Again, who's more in fear? Who's more likely to be injured or killed on a traffic stop? Who's more likely to be injured or killed on a traffic stop, guys? The person being stopped by the police officer. The number one killer of police officers is suicide. The number 2 is traffic accidents. Police officers aren't even in the top 20 most dangerous jobs in the world. Guys, police officers are just as big as criminals as non-police officer criminals. So just keep that in mind, guys. Cops don't prevent crimes. That protect and serve bullshit on their cars, they need to take that off, guys. We're here to protect and extort you. That's what they're here to do. We're here to extort money from you. by way of issuing you citations, hauling you into court, having to take a day off from work to go to court, missing a day of your salary, missing a day of work, and come in and pay us an extortion fee for going 10 miles over the speed limit, not using your turn signal, having a headlight out on the front of your car. These are the type of things that police officers do, guys. Extort money from you. And you pay them, we pay them to do this to us. Their salary is recycled from our tax dollars. They pay taxes out of their money, but their taxes are recycled from our taxes. They're basically welfare recipients, guys. They receive money from us. We work, we pay them, and that's how it works. So all you sheep out there that listen to me, all my Facebook friends that don't know what all I'm about, you think I'm just out there poking the police. I'm out there protecting your rights. Every time I show up on a traffic stop and start filming, I'm not there to protect the police officer. I'm there to protect the rights of that person they have pulled over, to make sure that their rights aren't being violated. Now, if that person being pulled over decides to pull out a gun and start shooting at the police officer, believe me, I'm always armed, guys. Everywhere I go, I don't go nowhere unarmed. I'm going to be the first one to take cover and return fire to protect someone that's being shot at unlawfully. If that means protecting that police officer from being killed by another criminal, that's what I'm going to do, guys. I follow the law, guys. You guys see me do things, people say, he should have been arrested for talking to the cops like that. Well, guess what, guys? We have the United States Constitution. And in the Declaration of Independence, we have the First Amendment that protects free speech. Cussing at cops is totally legal. There's no law being broken when I cuss out a cop. Nothing unlawful about it. It's protected by the First Amendment. It's protected free speech. You guys remember that next time you see me cussing out a cop. I'm not going to break the law, guys. Not intentionally. Guys like me, Sheepdog, Philip Turner, the big name auditors out there, guys you haven't heard from in a long time, High Desert Community Watch, guys like that, we know how to step up to that line, guys. But we won't cross that line of breaking the law. Not intentionally. We're not anarchists. You guys know what anarchists are? The people that don't follow the law. If we're anarchists, we're the worst anarchists in the world, guys. Because we follow the law. Anyway, guys, that's my Monday morning rant. I'm glad you guys joined me today. 71 people watching. That's a kind of a low number for me, and I can see that because I haven't been on here in a while, guys, and it's early Monday morning. It was Halloween yesterday. I know there were a bunch of parties yesterday, so there may not be a lot of people awake yet or up and about, having their morning coffee. Probably some hung over from last night, but I had a great weekend. It was a beautiful weekend here in the San Antonio area. Rode my motorcycle all day yesterday with a great group of friends. And guys, I want all y'all to stay safe out there. And remember, cops don't protect you. During a traffic stop, your life is in more danger than a police officer. Just remember that. They carry a tool belt full of tools designed to hurt and kill humans. They have the body armor. So step out of the car for their safety. Yeah, Pennsylvania versus Mims stated that a police officer can order you out of your vehicle for their safety. But let me ask you this, guys. What law says that you have to comply with that? What law states that you have to comply with an officer ordering you out of your vehicle? Now, I know what you're going to say. Well, if you don't get out, they're going to force you out. That's probably 99% true, guys. And we've all seen it happen. We've all seen police officers break windows and drag people out of their cars just because they won't get out of their car. Right? But once they do that, they've committed multiple felonies. They've committed multiple crimes against you by breaking your window and dragging you out of the car. Pennsylvania versus Mims, Supreme Court decision says police officers can order you out of your vehicle for their safety. Remember, guys, your safety is no more important than their safety. In fact, your safety is more in danger than theirs. They have that tool belt full of tools designed to hurt and kill you. If you don't comply with their orders during a traffic stop, you're going to probably be the one. Your safety is probably going to be the one that's going to be jeopardized. You're the one that's probably going to leave there hurt, injured, or killed if you don't comply with a police officer on the side of a road while he's trying to extort your money from you. Just keep that in mind, guys. Stay safe out there. Stay vigilant. Know your rights. Learn your rights. Watch these auditors. They know their rights. Yeah, there's some provocateurs out there. There's auditors out there that shouldn't be holding a camera and pointing it at the police. But my wish is that every day, every citizen, when they encounter a police officer or someone from the government, that they point the camera at them for their, at least for nothing else, for their own safety. Always film your encounters with police. Guys, you don't have to point that camera directly at a police officer. If you've never done it, you're going to be afraid. You're going to be nervous. Your adrenaline's going to be flowing. But just turn on your camera. Have it laying beside you in the car. Just make sure that there's a recording device recording when you encounter a police officer for your own safety and for the safety of your family, guys. All right, guys. SA Ecstasy Prez. I thank all my subscribers for sticking with me through all these years. 7 years, guys. I've been holding the camera at police. I've been pointing my camera at police for 7 years. And I don't see no time lately in the near future of me slowing down. So I appreciate everybody. I want everybody to stay safe out there. Protect your family. You guys have a great, happy holiday season. And I'm here, guys. I'm not going nowhere. Y'all have a great day. SA Ecstasy Prez out.